This is going to be the first of several videos here explaining how you can customize your type for logo design. And the reason you might want to consider that is this idea of ownability. I've got let's say I'm doing a logo for Fullerton College. I have it set here in a font called Optima, which has been around forever. And there's nothing really unique about it. Anyone else can use this font. I can't copyright the font. But if I go in here and customize this font so it's very unique to Fullerton College, then that logo becomes much more easy to trademark, copyright, and own. So that's where the phrase ownability comes from. So this is going to be the easiest way you can customize type. And what I do when I work on logos is I never leave it as a font. What I always do is I outline the type and use it as vectors. And so that's what I'm going to do here. But what I would recommend doing, especially if you haven't really had a lot of experience with this, I'm going to grab a copy of this and I'm going to use the keyboard shortcut. I'm just going to hold the Option key down and drag a copy off here and put it on the pasteboard back here. And the reason I'm doing that is once I outline this type, it will no longer be a font. And if I'm not familiar with the fonts I'm working with, if I start working on this and down the line, someone asks me what the font is and I can't remember what it is. And you'll see here, I'm going to take the type here. I'm going to come up here under the type drop-down menu and create outlines. And now this is no longer a font. Now these are little individual vector letters up here. And whenever you outline the type, it will automatically be grouped. And so I'm going to come up here and under the object drop-down menu, I'm going to ungroup this. And now all these letters move independently. But like I said, if down the line someone comes and asks you, oh, what font did you use? And you go to select it, you're going to see up here there's nothing to indicate what the font is because it's not a font anymore. If I click on this one, which is the one I saved off to the side, you can see it still has the name on there. So now I'm familiar with a lot of these fonts, so I might not necessarily do it in this case because I'm familiar with this font. But now that we've done this, just to customize this font, you can just use the white direct selection tool and individually you can move portions of these letters around. So what I'm going to do is maybe make some of the letters smaller. And so what I'm doing is just kind of customizing this font. I'm selecting points in the letter and I'm extending portions of it. Maybe in this case, I'll bring this R over here and then create what we call a ligature. Whenever you link any two letters together, we refer to that as a ligature. And all I did was use the white arrow to select the points. And now I'm just using the arrows on the keyboard to extend certain parts of the letters. So I'm creating a custom look here with my type. Maybe I'll come over here to the end. And then let's move this over here. So there are a lot of different ways you can do this. Maybe I'll make that smaller as well. Let's see. I'll line these up. So I'm going to put rulers on here. I hit Command R on the keyboard to get rulers. So now I can line up this O. So I'm going for kind of a custom look here. See what I did with the L's here? Maybe I'll just do the same thing here. So I'm going to grab that white arrow. I'm grabbing all the lower points here, and then I'm just using the down arrow on the keyboard. And creating more, oops, sorry about that, creating more of a custom look. So that's going to be the easiest way you can do this. So again, I'm just grabbing points with the white arrow and using the keyboard arrows to lower it down here. So I'm going to select all this and group it. Select all this and group it as well. And then what I can do is center these using my alignment tools up here. And then once I see where things line up, okay, my end probably went down too far, so I'll go ahead and line this up. So that's one way you can create really custom type, just using the white direct selection tool. Now the other thing you can do with the white direct selection tool, and you can also do this using the Pathfinder tool. Let me just show you this. I'm going to open the Pathfinder here and pull it off to the side. I talked about this tool in a previous video. What you can also do if we're talking about customizing type with just extending and changing the points on here, I've grabbed my white arrow here. I'm going to select the interior of the O, and I can just hit delete twice on the keyboard and get rid of these interior letters here. You can do this on any letter as long as it's enclosed like that. And now you can, if you want to, use any shape. Let's do a star actually. Let's see what that looks like. So, and I covered the Pathfinder tool in a previous lecture, but now if I put a star over each of the O's here, can't really see it, but it's there. And now what you can do is select the circle and the square. Oh, let me ungroup this first of all. Now you can see I've got that, the O and the star selected. If I do the minus front, so this interior shape of the letters we call a counter. I've got to ungroup this as well here. So that's another way you can customize type, by taking out the interior counters on some of these letters and either changing the shape or doing away with them altogether. So those are some very easy steps on how you can customize type.